Hello, g'day. We're back on the road. So after about 1 year break, the Kraken and I are back. So I did do one tour during the break, which was like a 3-month ride up in the Arctic Circle. The Kraken has been at work for about a year, but we are now back on the bikes full time, and we've got new bikes as well. So in our last trips, we had real problems getting on the trains and also getting into some of the accommodations. So in Europe, we found that almost every train says they'll take folding bikes, no problems at all. So now we have folding bikes. So the Kraken's bike's over here. And because she's a princess, she's got a Helix titanium folding bike, which is like one of the most expensive folding bikes you can buy. And it folds very weirdly. It's got disc brakes. It's got a lefty fork. And we'll take you through these bikes in more detail later on. But this is the first loadout for it. So yesterday we flew in from Taiwan, where we did a little tour in Taiwan, but not on the bikes, just on the train. And we rode from the airport to here, which is about halfway between the airport and Vienna. The bike path to get here is beautiful, and I know it's not beautiful if you live here, because you just take it for granted, but it's better than any bike path that's in Australia that I've been on. And this is the sort of general view you get as you're riding from the airport. So you're riding along a river most of the way. The river's on the left. Right now there's the river over there, then you have this nice pond, and then over there there's a little tiny canal as well. So it's just beautiful, all off-road. So riding here, I think we rode on the road for about 100 meters, maybe 200 meters, only at the airport. Other than that, we're on bike path the whole way. So it's just lovely. And then we have my bike over here, which is carrying a full load out, and it's a Dahon Smooth Hound. So it's like a triangle bike. It folds in the middle, and I've upgraded it a little bit with folding handlebars and things like that. These bikes have already paid off in the first coming here, because our other bikes by themselves, when you put them in the box, were 23 kilos. So when you're trying to fly, you couldn't put anything else in the box other than the bicycle. So they were the Tout Terrain with the Pinion 18 gearboxes. These bikes, we basically put everything in the box plus the bicycles, and then came just with very minimal gear, which meant our tour in Taiwan was easy to do. So we just had basically very small carry-on to carry around with us. So they weighed less. And then last night when we got to the accommodation, in the old days, we wouldn't be able to take the bikes upstairs because it's very small. The lift is like a one-person lift. But these bikes, we just folded the handlebars, folded her handlebars down. We were able to stand the bike on their side and then take them up to the room. So almost immediately, they've worked out really well that they're folding bikes. The tour distances this time in this trip will be shorter, not because these are folding bikes, but because the Kraken has cracked the whip and said that she's only going to do shorter distances. And also the Australian dollar's collapsed, so we've pre-booked most of the accommodation. We couldn't stick to our old budget of $100 a night, even with pre-booking the accommodation, but we're set a new one at 130. But effectively, the Australian dollar is very weak, and inflation has taken place in the last year that we've been away. Some places we're still staying $60 a night, but I think we're averaging out at about $120 to $130 a night for accommodation, and we've got the first 3 months booked. So it won't be a whimsical tour like it is, and it relies on trains, which before we couldn't do, because half the time they wouldn't let the bikes on the train.
We can skip through the ugly stuff to the good stuff.
Yeah, the Kraken's very happy. She's very much, let's catch the train. Truthfully, I would just ride between the two places, but she's not up for boring riding. Anyway, we're on the bikes this time for about 6 months, and we're going to be covering about 14 countries. So hopefully it'll be fun. We really want you to come along. Please subscribe, please watch, please give us comments, and we'll try and be as informational as possible. All we're doing today is riding about 12 kilometers into Vienna, having a little tour of Vienna, which we've been to many times, well, several times before. And then we're just catching a train into the Czech Republic today, and tomorrow we're starting our first 40-kilometre day along a canal. Neither of us have done much bike riding. I went for that 3-month tour, but other than that I haven't really touched bikes since then, and so we're starting off slowly, but we're really never getting very far.